And to God be the glory for the things He has done, for all that He's doing and the things that He's going to do. All things work together for the good, for those that love the Lord and are called according to His purpose. And I stand on that. Whatever questions you have, I'll be glad to answer.
Would you start us out with some thoughts about Ball State on Wednesday?
What you see with Ball State is what you get. It's just a solid, basketball team. Some teams, they kind of gimmick you. With Ball State, they're not a gimmicky team. Man-to-man defense, individual and team defense, inside-out basketball. Nothing really tricky, just solid basketball. And they guard you and they play inside out, and they play hard. They can be a grind team. They're just a solid, good basketball team.
Is it easier to prepare for a team like that, or does that make it harder? Or
you know what? The reality of it is it starts with us. It starts with your own team. You have to do you. You have to put your will and your stamp on the game. You got to play to your strengths. So that's our focus. Our first focus. It starts with us, and then in terms of how you attack them offensively and defensively, that's part of the game plan, and that's the preparation piece. But every team has its own style and identity. To say if one is easier or harder because basically they're a pretty much straight up team as far as what you see, what you get. Again, it's just a matter of will, and execution. But I can't say it's any easier or harder. I mean, it's all preparing for every game is a challenge.
You've seen Jared Jones play now, and does he just keep getting better as he gets older in the league? It seems like he has to be one of the top 5 to 8 guys in the league, isn't he?
Yeah, and as far as a couple of things. As far as a big guy that is just a guy, you have to appreciate how Ball State utilizes him and how much he's emphasized. They really do a good job of getting him the ball in positions where he can be effective. Whether it's against zone or man. And he does good things when he gets the ball in the areas where he can be effective. So, he's a talented big guy offensively. He rebounds. He's a good post player, mid-range shooter. I don't think, as far as a true big guy, if there's, many better, if any, in our league. But he's a guy you got to deal with, and you need to do a good job with and make sure that he earns everything he gets. And he's a veteran in this league, so and they really does a good job of utilizing.
Would you do anything differently against somebody like that, or just play your basic defense and zone you can?
You know what? We make a point of emphasis of what we do with the big guys. Is pretty much standard. So they're always a point of emphasis when we play against the bigs in our zone. The one thing with the way they attack the zone, a lot of times they feed the ball from the top from one big to another. So that's a little different. They do a good job, big to big, high-low passing. But we do what we do with the big guys, and it's better if he catches the ball outside the lane than if he catches it right in the paint. because we got more options if he catches it outside the lane than when he catches it right in front of the rim. You know, that's a tougher cover, but we got to keep him from getting to the ball in areas where, you know, he's most comfortable, and just try to make him feel uncomfortable as much as we can without giving up the three-point shot to Scaffy. I don't know if I pronounced his name right, or any of their three-point shooters. You know, they got some guys that can make threes, so you know, you have to do both. You know, you got to guard him, but you also got to guard the three-point line.
Would Jones be a guy that you might make a video of to give to Cam Black to show him what you can do? And that's nothing against Cam.
No.
I'm just saying from a development standpoint.
Oh yeah. He's a guy in this league. Yeah, you know, I think you learn from not just playing but from watching. And I don't know how much. I'm just talking in general as an older guy.
Right.
I don't know how much young guys learn from watching.
Right.
I did. You know, I learned from watching. But in this generation, if you tell them to watch a Tim Duncan, they think it's a boring guy. Tim Duncan is boring, you know. And I look at him because he's so fundamental. I admire him, but they say he's a boring guy. So, yeah, it's a good idea to watch guys. And the one thing about Jones is where he catches the ball. You know, the key to being a good post offensive player is catching the ball in areas where you can score. And if you can get the ball with 2 feet in the lane, the more touches you get in the paint, the better chance you got to score and get fouled. And generally, you can't get double teamed when you get the ball in the paint. You get the ball outside the lane, then you got a chance to get doubled. You usually got to take a dribble. You know, that 3 or 4 feet extra can make a difference. But Jones is a guy, he can score the 15-foot. He can make the foul line jumper. He can put it on the floor enough to be effective. So a guy like Cam, you know, he has to grow, but I think Cam got to make steps towards that. And some of it's not basketball related; it's more just physical development related. But he's going to be good. Cam's got all the tools to do those kind of things, without a doubt.
Will you talk a little bit about, early in the year we asked about the rotation because the lineup was changing a lot. It looks like you've settled on a lineup, but there still are questions that you're answering or having to answer every game, aren't there?
Yeah, you know what? It's mainly with our big guys, I think. I guess every game has its kind of feel. You know, I think Danny has been the last couple of games. You know, I think he's finding his offensive, his sweet spots, areas where he can score. You know, he's a nice mid-range shooter. He's doing a good job on the offensive boards. He's probably our best duck-in guy at posting up. He's probably posts up the best of anybody we have. And then Austin, you know, he just, I mean, God bless you.
Thank you.
I think that was a sneeze, right?
It was. I got a big head.
Nah, I can't always tell when people sneeze and cough. But yeah, Austin's. He just one of them guys. You know, you got to try to get him the ball in areas. You know, you just got to keep trying to get him touches. So my point is, you know, with those two guys, sometimes they sub for each other. But if they're both playing well and they're both generating offense, they're really our two best right now. Our two best offensive players, front court wise. So the last game, I played them more together. You know, at times before, you know, I played Mike Dabney because I wanted length and defense, and you know, we needed bodies. So every game is different. You know, if guys are playing well, I tend to play them. But I think we have depth at that position, but we really offensively, you know, Danny and Austin are putting the ball in the basket. You know, I have to find ways to play them together. So, you know, and it could evolve because Craig Seeley's a guy that hadn't played, but he's getting better and better in practice every day. And he's earning my trust every day more and more. And he's going to be very, very good. and I'd like to try to find the opportunity to play him and have him be productive because I think he can help us.
Will you talk a little bit the same thing at the guard position? Because I hate to say it like this, but I guess I will.
Yeah.
It looks like your choices are a little more clear cut at the guard position. Are you looking for, if it's offense, it's this. If it's defense, it's that. Am I?
Well, the rotations are a little easier because generally Jordan and Joe, they play for each other, and Luke and D. I think there's certain combinations sometimes that kind of feed off each other, and that's something we've been talking about as coaches as far as our guards. And really they kind of do different things. So sometimes it's depending on who's playing well and the combinations. Our point guard play really has been a big factor in whatever success we've had. Generally, Joe and Jordan, they make a difference. When they're good and they play well, it makes the game easier for everybody else. They're really, really important. They're a big factor. And then Luke and D, they're different players, but they can be productive in different ways, and they kind of complement each other. So really our four guards, when they're at their best, I guess they really kind of make a nice foursome, like almost two players in the four, because they bring different things. So, they're important to us, and when they're productive, again, it makes a big difference.
I'm assuming you'd like to see Joe Jakubowski step up a little bit. He had a good game against Toledo.